It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, repeated 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. Saturday morning, and on the West Coast, my old stomping ground, Flow Man.
Yes.
A bit further up from my old hometown of Port Lincoln, the Midwest Football and League and Netball Association. It is a proud organisation, both of them. And a bit of turmoil, though, through the week, Flow Man.
A lot of turmoil. I thought your article on Saturday that encapsulated a lot of what was happening and a lot of phone calls that were made to get to that point of getting an article. It certainly started the ball rolling, and one of the groups that are involved in it is the Central Eyre Football Club, which have extended the hand to amalgamate with the Woodney United Football Club and their netball clubs too. Jared Sampson is our guest. G'day, Jared. Good to have you on board, and this occasion not as a correspondent with Midwest Football, but talking about your own club. How are you?
Yeah, g'day fellas. Fair bit's changed in the 12 to 18 months since we last spoke, hasn't it?
A lot has changed, mate. First of all, can I ask you a simple question? How are you going? Because it must have been a tough month.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of months working through the progress. Obviously, the ramifications of what's happened is it's taken its toll over the last week. It's a pretty emotive topic. A lot of commentary around the place. Sort of hard to block out the external voices at times. But, what's done is done, and we just have to move on and focus on the future.
Focusing on the future, the amalgamation, can you give us the reasons why Central Eyre, which are the Bulldogs, and very well-known club, very successful club, 3 premierships in a row just, 3 or 4 years ago, suddenly the Woodney United Football Club, the Magpies, haven't played in the grand final for, I guess, about 10 years now, that last against the West Coast Hawks that I can remember watching. Tell us what were the conditions that were prevalent for the Central Eyre Club to seek a merger with Woodney United.
Yeah, obviously it's been spoken about for a considerable length of time, but over the last 12 months with COVID, and we've seen the impact that had, and more so a deep reflection on where our numbers and membership base was. Just the inability to provide junior footy for our kids was priority number one. Between the two of us on our own, we didn't have a side in the senior ranks. And then the flow on into B-grade footy, obviously, it sort of had to put our hand up and take responsibility for the fact that forfeits were just becoming far too regular a part of a fixture from our club. You look at having 12 months off after COVID, and if we continue down the path of not providing an avenue for the young fellas who want to play footy, with another year off, then you might lose them from the game. Not to mention the netball, Central Eyre had numbers, but yeah, there's definitely a shortage at Woodness. So while the merger from the outside has raised a lot of questions, it's taken a great deal of work and homework to actually sit down and get to this point. And I think the part that sort of confirmed our thoughts is between the two clubs at their 2 meetings, the support was just resoundingly unanimous. So it's been a tough and emotional journey, but we're here, and at the end of the day, we're here to provide a future for our kids and the next generations, and it's just the way it is.
So Midwest Football and Netball. Now, I want to, if you don't mind, Jared, I think we need to dispel a few myths today. And I don't necessarily want to talk about the fortunes of any other club other than Central Eyre and Woodney United and the new merged club, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But everybody knows there was a meeting, not last Thursday, the Thursday before. Not a lot of people know exactly what came out of that meeting, though, Jared. Is it true that you guys went into that meeting as a merged club and said that you wanted to go to Eastern Eyre? Is that true or false?
That is categorically incorrect. No, our merger agreement was on the stipulation that we would play in the Midwest competition for 2021. Obviously, there's a desire to have sport each week for all of our members across the grade, and won't discuss too much what happened at the meeting. But
No.
Yeah, as the night went on, it became increasingly obvious that we weren't going to be a part of discussions about the coming season. So,
just on that, was this meeting minuted?
Yeah, I do believe it was. Cookie and Shorty, carried the meeting as usual. It was a special general meeting or special meeting of club presidents, delegates, and netball presidents. Yeah, minutes. I'd imagine if they're not on the Midwest website, they wouldn't be far off. And I know that I've got a copy being former club president. So, yeah, they have been circulated amongst clubs.
Okay, so moving forward for your club, the Central Eyre United Club, the United Club now is looking to play in a specific league of some sort. At this point, Midwest doesn't appear to be that option. Have you then gone to another league, and where have you gone to apply to play football in 2021?
That was, as a result of the meeting on the Thursday night, we had to go back and sit down and make a new plan of attack, I suppose, consult with our members, because as per our merger agreement, they were under the illusion we'd be participating in Midwest. So following consultation with members, and we've now started the formal process and applying for Eastern Eyre. So the process starts again. Yeah, it's not a quick journey. So applications were lodged middle of this week, and now we have to wait 2 to 3 weeks for their league to meet, both football and netball, to either approve or deny our application.
Jared, I'm not going to get you, I mentioned this a few times already, Flowman and I have got an opportunity to speak to people from other clubs who didn't necessarily want to come on the record. We'll give you a bit of a rundown of what we can say about those clubs in Midwest later on in the program. But I wanted to ask you about Midwest in general, the competition itself, because you're a man who's done a lot of work behind the scenes. You've been a correspondent on this program for us here on the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. I know how much you loved Midwest football and probably still do. Is that right?
Yeah, that's probably what's taken the biggest toll, I think, mate. It's sad to be leaving, that's for sure.
Yeah. But there's a myth out there that we need to dispel straight away, that Midwest, everything was hunky-dory. There's a lot of people out there who will tell you that everything was going great guns, the competition's fine, because the reality tells us a different picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately it does. It was, and our club's got to put our hand up for that as well. Our junior numbers were bordering on non-existent. To be able to have a decent hit out for the kids every week, B-grade footy was past the point of decline, and it was taking an impact not just on the clubs but the venues hosting the games. To have less than 200 through the gate some Saturdays, that really impacts not just your club but the community, the morale. So challenging, obviously, COVID that put a lot of strain on it, and there was like the move to restructure footy next year, obviously, but it still doesn't. It's not hiding the fact that there are some issues that we needed to discuss, and yeah.
I know you're hurting, mate, and I know you're certainly not making excuses for your own club here, but let's be brutally honest. I've got some stats here, Flo, man. I've done a bit of, they call me the stat man for a reason, right?
Mate.
So I've done a little bit of homework here, and I can tell you that in between 2013 and 2019, in the B grade of Midwest football, there were a total of 71 forfeits.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that equates to a percentage per fixture. 315 fixtures over that period were scheduled. That's about 22.5%.
Yeah.
Okay, of B-grade matches forfeited. In the last 2 years of those 7, 2018 and 2019, it's actually worse than that. It's 33%. So the problem, as Jared has just mentioned there, was gradually getting worse. And I can tell you right now that Central Eyre weren't even the worst offenders for forfeiting the B grade. They weren't even close. And a couple of the clubs who didn't merge were the worst offenders for fault. And I won't mention them now for the sake of that. People can do their own research on that. But 2 of the remaining clubs who didn't merge were the worst offenders for forfeiting the B grade. So anybody out there who thinks that Midwest football and netball was going along hunky-dory before this came along, way off base.
Yeah, I think so. Jared, just one final question. I think this is a little bit of a lighter one, but what are you going to have for colours? Has there been any discussion?
Oh, yeah, we have to find that out.
We've been discussing and throwing it around here in the studio a little bit. I actually got a old set of photographs off the Kind Cutter 100 years here, mate, and I can see there's a fair few interesting colours there that Kind Cutter have gone through over the time. So have you got any insight for us as to the colours?
Yeah, that had a bit of debate, but it'll be we'll just stick with the base colours for a beginning, mate. So it'll be royal blue, black and white, and there's plenty of discussion amongst the steering committee about where it goes, mascots and that, but that's.
Have we got a moniker yet, mate? Come on. Give us the exclusive. You know you want to.
No, I think you've seen the Thunder Chickens as a joke, mate, but that's just not going to happen.
I was all over the Thunder Chickens. I thought that would be a goer, but apparently not.
No, it's sort of, all the nitty-gritty now to get it underway. It's exciting to be involved in the process, but at the same token, it's challenging mentally and emotionally to be in this position. But got to have a firm focus on the future. And young family. It's a couple of boys under 5. You're really focused on what we can provide them in the long term. And I've no doubt that this is the right decision for our community, and the support we've seen within at our first training on Monday night, and some of the people rocking up. It's overwhelming to see. Understand the impact across the coast is pretty significant, and that's probably what's taking the biggest toll of all upstairs is just seeing the battles we're all in. Really feel for the league exec that have to deal for this. Matt Cook does an exceptional amount of work, and it's important we all as a wider community get behind him, because he is under the most strain of us all in this time, and he needs all the support he can get.
Jared Sampson from the Central Eyre United Football Club, that with the colours of the royal blue and the black and white, could look like Minyat Matoa even a little bit. They've got the prison bar type thing at the bottom, and at the top they got the blue and white. You never know. Can
I just jump in on you quickly here, Flo, man, because I know we've got to say goodbye to Jared, and he's got to get on a plane as well. But Jared, I just want to back up your point about Cookie, who is an exceptional human, and I just hope everybody there on the EP that knows and loves him gets around him, because the work that man has tried to do to keep that competition going needs to be acknowledged, rewarded, but more importantly, people have just got to get around him and make sure he's okay, and I really hope that people on the EP do that. So please get around him if you're listening on the West Coast today, and this could be just as much reflected across our Flow network, Flow Man. We've got so many other guys who are battling every week to keep competitions and clubs afloat, that it could be just as easily a club in Horsham in districts. It could be anywhere. So, Jared, thanks for joining us, mate. I know it's been a tough week in particular for you and for everyone there around Midwest. Wishing you well and all the best. Hopefully you have a good season ahead, mate.
No, thanks, fellas. I've really enjoyed our time over the last few years and appreciated the support, particularly for Midwest. You're one of the biggest fans, and shouldn't go unnoticed.